So guys, I just saw that you guys did some really interesting stuff. So if that's okay with you guys, I would like to go with every single group really quick, and I would like each one of the groups to take around 2 minutes, basically, to share their word clouds and some ideas on their experience with this exercise and the answer to the question. Okay, so we're gonna cover all the groups, but we need to take just like 2 minutes with each one of them, so we can actually do that. Okay, guys. So it is as simple as that. I will just share my screen. Let me do it. In which we're gonna see your Jamboards, and I would like each one of the groups just to make some comments on that, and that's pretty much how it works. Okay, so guys, I'd like to start, let me say, with the group, of course, number two. In the group number one, I'm sorry. Group number one, we've got David Torres and Michael Cortez. That's what I've got here, right? So you guys are in the group number one. Is that right? Hello. Guys,
Hello,
come on.
teacher.
Uh-huh,
Teacher,
uh-huh.
I had some problems with my internet, so I was kicked out of the season.
Uh-huh.
So I did it alone
Yes, teacher.
with
Sorry, what
my
happened is
amigo
that I
Hera.
have problem with my throat. I have tonsillitis, so
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I don't understand anything. I'm so sorry. So once again, in the group number one, I believe as far as I know, we've got David Torres and Michael Cortez. Is that right? You guys were in the room number one, right? David and
Mm,
Michael?
mm, sure. I don't know if you hear me well. I got problems with
Yes,
my.
I know. But you are originally in the group number one, right?
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's my point. And I'd like to know if this is your Jamboard. Should be this one.
I
No?
didn't know, teacher, because I
No, teacher.
Oh, so whose Jamboard is this then? Who's the owner of this one, guys? Oh, that's a group number 9. And what do we have in the slide number 9? We've got nothing. And okay, I get it. I get it. So let's start then with the group number 9. You see, that's why it's so important to put your info there. So in the group number 9, I've got just one person, and that's Nicole. Is that right?
yes, teacher.
Nicole, there you go. And Nicole, you basically had the chance to cover just the first part, which was on your experience. So would you please tell us in general terms what you did there and why you put these words and everything?
Okay, I decide these words because
Mhm,
it represent me with my experience in this activity with the project,
mhm,
because I have problems with my group to
mhm,
find the services and to
mhm.
that the service give the solution for the problem that we need to that
Uh-huh.
we want to solve.
Solve,
The
yes.
idea for the service, we can we will innovation
Mhm.
for this. I put that we need to kind of research for
Uh-huh.
the problems. For this, we need a kind of solution, and the most problem or the situation that we have is the ambiguous, because
Uh-huh.
most of the time we think the same. We give the solution for the same things, and someone or
Mhm.
someone for this kind of difficult. And on the other hand, uh, to know about with the vision, impact, and those of things is a kind of different points of view that we need
Mhm.
to know about the when we create a service or a company or something like that. And that's it.
There you go. Okay, thank you very much, Nicole. There are so many words which are very important here, and I really like the fact that you put them together there. And yes, you know, like something that I've said before, which sounds very obvious, but you'll see that is not that obvious. And when we say that we want to create real solutions for real problems of real people, it sounds very obvious, but you'll see as we progress on the project and as we do more exercises that it means something. And it is that, as you said, sometimes we have these problems when we want to create a solution for a problem. We believe that we have the knowledge, as you put it there, on what the solution should be about, and that's related to the exercise, which is something we're going to answer in a moment, which is perhaps going to help us go in a complete different direction. But yes, I totally agree on that. These are words which are key to understand this this exercise and this situation. So Nicole, I'd like to know if you answer the question, if you got the time to answer the question, because I don't see it here. No?
Okay, no.
No? Okay, no worries. So let's continue then. This is I guess the group number 2. Let me just double check because you guys get me so confused sometimes.
Yes, teacher.
So yeah, that's a group number 2, guys. So let's start with the first one. Let's talk about the words to put together, guys. So what can you tell us about that?
Well, yes, teacher, we were having like a conversation together about the like the video. So we put all the words in that, for example, motivational, because it was something that motivate us in order to do like to go there and go for a walk and everything, Inspirational because because we were like doing different things that make us like feel like it's with a bit of inspiration. Well, I don't know, John and Lena.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
go, Lena.
Also, we decided put words like, for example, quiet, green areas,
Green
and time,
areas,
because when you start a project, for example, or you have an idea, you have time, you have quiet place when you can inspire or write your ideas, and then you go for that ideas and to do this. So we decided that also this is an important word when you are going to start something.
Okay, absolutely. John, I don't know if you want to say something else.
Well, yes, teacher, that those words represent how different factors can help us to go deeper in the needs of the people, what we want to help with our business project. So all kind of things that are very important.
Okay, thank you very much, John. Absolutely, yes. But now, if we go to the question, you identified several differences, and somehow, if the question says what's the differences, what's the difference, not what are the differences, I wanted to somehow, I would like you guys to focus on one thing rather than on several aspects. I mean, all of these things you mentioned might be accurate, and yes, could be a difference, but I'd like you to focus only on one thing. Okay, I would like you to focus only on one thing, and as I said, I would like you to answer this question based on the experience that you have with the exercise. I mean, let's say that the exercise has a metaphor. I mean, the inspiration walk has a metaphor to answer this question. There was something you did with the exercise, which could be the answer to that question. So I will not answer yet. This is something I will comment by the end, but I'd like you to focus on that. The answer to this question was somehow on the exercise you did. Okay, the answer was there. So we'll see in a moment. But thank you guys very much for sharing. We're gonna continue with the number 3 that looks very beautiful. I like it. Group number 3, which is Ana Maria, Diego, and Valeria. So
Yes.
guys, let's talk about the words and then the answer to the question, please.
Okay.
Okay, teacher. For us, like this audio was, well, it was an experience, a different experience for each one.
Mhm.
For me, for example, it was a little bit boring,
Uh-huh.
but for them, they had like a really great time. They come up with great words. For example, like they saw different perspectives for our project.
Mhm. Mhm.
They had solutions for those perspectives of problems that maybe we faced in the past week. So it was a cool experience.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
and for the question, we put several things, but I think that thinking right now in just one answer that is the main key, I think that I found the solution to this question in the audio, and is that you have always to zoom in and zoom out, because you could see from different perspectives the situations, how you can work as a group, because seeing, like, taking into account the audio, I was seeing just the plant when I zoom in, but when I zoom out, I see a whole environment helping that plant to grow to be who it was. So I think that we need to zoom in and zoom out to see different perspectives, to find solutions, and to affront and face challenges.
Thank you very much, Diego. Indeed, that is a question. And I mean, that's the answer to the question, basically. That is the answer to the question. The difference, the key difference between a novice designer and an expert designer is that capacity of zooming in and zooming out, depending on the needs the people have, or he or she has as well. That capacity is the main difference. In the And it's, as you can say, this is something that we can take to other contexts as well. It's not just project designers. It could be as well a teacher, and any professional from any field. That capacity for as Diego perfectly defined it, that capacity of analyzing not just the symptoms, right? Not analyzing just what you see immediately, but the context and the environment in which that thing happens. I believe that is the key, right? Because as you were perhaps in these green areas, you could have seen a plan which doesn't look very good, perhaps it looks a little bit sick, or it looks perfect, but that is a symptom of the environment, right? If we see a plant which is in not very good conditions, it is not in very good conditions because of the environment, right? Or if it looks beautiful, if it's in very good conditions, the reason why it is like that is the environment as well. And that is connected with the problems, right? You guys have been thinking on ideating lots of things about a problem that you are identifying, but perhaps you are checking or you're having a look only at the problem, but not at the environment and how other things affect that. And that's something that can give you lots of ideas. So thank you very much, Diego. That was a very, very good point there. Thank you for that. So we're going to continue with the next group, in which we have Camila, Melissa, and Diane. I believe I can call you like that. So guys, what can you tell us about this word cloud, which looks simply fantastic? I like how it looks. But can you tell us about it?
Well, teacher, and our experience on in that project is based on a video game, so that students learn more vocabulary.
Yeah.
And these are some of the words that represent our project. Like teamwork, innovate, strategy, creative, learning, motivation is very important, skills, and learning.
Okay. So, and you put, I mean, like you connected that with the exercise we did, right? With the audio exercise, like,
yes.
Like you got it from there. So let me have a look at that. So, well, strategy, that has to do a lot. I mean, perhaps you're talking a lot about the strategy in the game itself, but talking about a strategy for the development of a project, that's also something very important, which is why, that word I believe is really, really, really important, I mean, those two, I would say teamwork and strategy. And that's the reason why we are using all these formats and we are taking all these steps, because you might be a little bit confused. Like we have a format for a business plan, then we have this other format in Mural that we are using for putting these ideas together. And today I will share another material with you. So that might be a little bit confusing, but as you see, all these materials are there for you to put up a strategy, as this group is saying, which is organizing the information and letting the information flow in a direction that makes sense and that helps you create cool things. Great, guys. Thank you very much for sharing. Then we have the group number 5, in which we've got Clara, Monroy, Diana, and Tatiana. So guys, what can you tell us about the exercise you did, which looks very nice? I mean, these word clouds look really cool. So guys, what can you tell us about that?
Well,
Yep.
some of the words are perspective, problem solving, and inspiration.
Mhm.
Problem solving and inspiration, for instance, because I think that is what the activity was about.
Yeah.
Like looking for inspiration for problem solving, and perspective because the idea talk
Mhm.
about seeing the problems from different perspectives in order
Yep.
to find a solution to it. I don't know
Thank
if the
you.
partners want to say anything else.
Mhm. Something else, guys? Come on, guys. And I like the flow that we are getting, but sometimes we take a little bit too long. So nothing else, guys, from your side? Okay, so I believe that there is one word which is key here, which is perspective. And I would put it together with a word that one of the groups before shared, Valeria, Ana Maria, and Diego, this zoom in, zoom out process. Let's say perspective is absolutely connected with that. And those are the two most important learnings that I wanted you guys to take out of this exercise. So that's basically it. So let's try to go with a couple of groups more at least. Group number 6, guys, Nicolas, Laura, Sofia, and Miguel. So what can you tell us about your exercise?
So teacher, about our exercise, the experience was great because we had some time off from our routine, because being in house all every week, all day in front of a computer, sometimes it's kind of tedious. And for that reason, we have some time off from our routine, and being out in nature made us think of new things, not only for our project, but also for our personal life. So for that reason it was a great activity, teacher.
There you go, Nicolas. You have mentioned something which is actually very powerful. And that once again, that's connected to perspective. And it might sound like, even if you have everything you need at home, right? You have your computer, you have a place in which you can work to get good internet connection. Even if you have good conditions, sometimes it's almost impossible to actually create, because like as we are in the same place, that makes us feel a little bit more tired. We feel that we cannot, have enough inspiration to do what we want. So just the fact, I mean, just something as simple as that, like going to a different place and work in a different place can make a difference. And that's also something that has to do with perspective. So sometimes when we are working on a project, or we are working on any assignment, whatever, and we are having problems to continue, perspective could be one of the reasons. I mean, what could be one of the keys to actually answer to it, right? To see the problem from a different perspective, and also to do things differently. So yeah, even though it sounds like something obvious, I agree with Nicolas, because actually that's the way I'm feeling right now. And sometimes I have problems working from home because of the same thing. Let me read what you've got here. You say the difference of a novice designer and an experienced one are several, because each one has its advantages and disadvantages. You say the most notorious for us is that the novice can have no ideas and generate that innovation that is required at the moment. It doesn't mean that the one with experience doesn't have no ideas, but many times new minds bring new ideas, and it's good for any project. That is right. That is right. But you see, what I would highlight here is that quite often we connect experience mostly with time. So like if you have experience, it's because you have certain time doing certain things, and that's not always the case, right? So you can work for lots of years in a company, for instance, but if you have done the same thing, for instance, this is something that happens a lot with the projects we do with teachers. Like sometimes, for instance, a consultant goes to a school, especially with bilingualism projects, and they go there and they want to work with teachers doing anything. And perhaps teachers say, for instance, I know how this works. I've been working in this school for 20 years, so I know how this works. But what's the point, guys? One thing is to work in a school, for example, for 20 years doing the same thing. So if you work during 20 years doing the same thing, it means that you are doing one thing during 20 years. So you don't have 20 years of experience. Perhaps you have only 1 year of experience that you are repeating 20 times, you see? But as you are always trying to innovate, always trying to change perspectives, doing things differently, that's how would you actually accumulate more experience. When you do several things and you try several things throughout time, you see? But if you do the things always the same way, it doesn't matter how many years you are doing that, because you are not changing anything. You see, so that's the point. One thing is to have actually 20 years of experience, and a whole different thing to have 1 year of experience that you repeat 20 times. You see, it's different. It's different. And that's something we experience a lot with some teachers that we know that never change the way they work, you see? And especially at school, I had some of those teachers, for example, the classes were always the same. They would never change anything. So that's pretty much that. So thank you, guys. There are several things that I like about that exercise itself. Wow, look at this beauty, Gerson and Daniel. So guys, what can you tell us about this? Guys, we're listening. Come on. You can't imagine how much it affects me when I ask you, like I ask you something and you just let me just there waiting. I feel like
I'm sorry,
anxious.
teacher, but it is, I'm gonna be honest, it's quite hard to think of new concepts to speak here once
No
that
worries. No worries.
my partners have already said. But what I try to what I'd like to focus in this it's mainly what I thought of the for example what the novice project looks like and what the expert project looks like. It's the time. It's always, of course, as a novice project, you are in the project, you work in the project, you have an idea. Oh my God, it's the greatest idea. I gotta work on that, and I write. But sometimes people just don't take their time. That is why when I listen to the zoom in, zoom out, I was like, wow, it's the perfect concept. Of course, sometimes when you are too broad, it's just too overwhelming. And when you are too zoom in the topic, there is no time to work in everything. So you gotta be smart. You gotta know when to stand up, relax a bit, look again at your project, reflect on yourself. I don't know, create a Mr. Hyde inside you to fight your own decisions. And yeah, because as the phrase says, the thesis only works with an antithesis.
I know. Yeah, that's a way to put it. Absolutely, Daniel. I like that, and it's that, as I said, we are talking here about these things in the concept of designing projects, but as you can see, when we say who design projects, I mean everyone design projects, and that project, I mean the project we are talking about could be something you do for your university, like your thesis by the end of the major, but it could be a project that you want to start in a school in which you are working, but it could be a startup like the one we are working on, which is like a personal business you want to start. I mean, life is a project at the end of the day also, you see. So this same, let's say, methodology perspective is something we can apply to lots of different fields in life, you see. These concepts, these ideas we're thinking of, because for instance, this capacity of zooming in and zooming out, they are useful for a business idea, for instance. Clearly, they can also be useful in terms of academic work, but it could also be very useful in terms of our personal life. Just as you describe it, when we zoom out a little bit too much and we see lots of different things happening, it might be overwhelming, as you, Daniel, said. But when we zoom in a lot, we are not seeing how that specific problem, that specific symptom is related to other things. So I totally agree with you, Daniel. So guys, we're gonna continue with the group number 8. I mean, your word clouds look really good, guys. I really like them, and this is something which is going to be very useful for later stages in the project development. So I really want you to keep all this information. So we're gonna continue with the group number 8. In the group number 8, we've got Angie, Daniela, and Erika. So guys, we'll listen to you.
Well, after talking with our group about how we feel, we came to the conclusion that it was a great activity to reflect on some things. And these were the feelings that we all had in common.
Okay.
Some words that we put are concentration, responsibility, motivation, knowledge, imagination, and happiness. One of the important is confidence in ourselves and calm down.
Calm down. Okay, guys, this is pure gold. All the words you guys put there together are so important for the purpose of the exercise that we are developing. But I would like to focus especially on one, which is kindness. And you'll see how that is so strongly related. Remember, guys, that we have said several times before that we are using this methodology, design thinking. We are using this methodology because it gives you tools to create real solutions for real problems or real people. But let's have a look at that. People, you see, so all of your ideas, guys, all the ideas you're working on at the end of the day answer to problems of people. And as we are working, at the end of the day, we are working for people. So that means that we need to do things in order to connect with them more effectively. Another thing that I'd like you guys to do as we progress on the project throughout the whole semester, actually, is to connect this project, I mean, the way we do the project and all the things and tools and everything we do the project, connect that with the teaching practice. You see how this project and the way we do things and all the exercises and activities we do could be related or connected to the teaching practice, to what a teacher can do. Or in other words, how can a teacher benefit from these tools, strategies, exercises, questions, concepts? You see, that's something that I'd like you to think about, because that's something that I would like to discuss later in the class, okay? But I really like it. I really like it. I mean, that word specifically, as you'll see, kindness, is going to be so important in the first steps that we're going to be taking later. Thank you very much, guys. So the group number 9, we already had it. And then we're going to continue with the group number 10. I'm really curious about the shape that you guys have chosen. In the group number 10, we got Ashley, Dylan, Johannet, and Maria Alejandra. So guys, we are all ears.
Yeah, teacher. Well, we choose that shape because our project is related to that. So
okay.
I
remember,
thought that it was funny. So
I like it.
Okay, about our experience, we don't like go outside when we listen to the audio. I think we accustomed to like virtual classes and like virtual environment. So we don't like go outside, but we found like a different words that we can use and that represent what we want to like make with the project. And the thing that we have in common was like the audio help us to understand like the difference between like us a few weeks ago and now that we understand like the details and that an expert is thoughtful about what the process is and how we can make like a good process and like take advantage of that. So yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Alejandra. There is just one thing that we need to correct, which is approach, I believe, because you put it like approach. So it's approach.
Yeah.
That would be the only thing to correct. There you go. I like, as I said, guys, this is pure gold. Every single word you put there makes lots of sense, and it's at the end of the day, once again, has to do with the perspectives and everything. So when you think of, when you mentioned thoughtful, and also as you were describing it, you said, you mentioned the word process. That is so important, because at the end of the day, guys, with all this activity, what I wanted, or why at the end of the day, my end goal is not just to create a cool business idea, which is of course one really important thing, but what I'd like you to at the end of the day to learn is about those processes and those tools, and how that is something you can use for both your professional life, your academic life, but also your personal life, how these things are connected. So I will be more than happy if when we finish the semester, you can feel, or you can say that you have acquired certain tools that help you change these perspectives and understand problems in a different way. And at the same time, on top of that, you have gained certain skills regarding how to communicate that effectively. That's what we said is the essence of this exercise. Last but not least, nobody, because we don't have a group number 11. So guys, thank you very much. Believe me, I really, really, really enjoyed listening to you. You know that as we are working online, this is one of the things that we lack the most. So we don't have, I mean, it would have been amazing to have the chance to share this exercise together in a classroom, you know, all together. That would have been really cool, because you have shared some really interesting ideas and concepts on the exercise. So this is something that I really, really, really enjoyed. So guys, I'd like to know if anybody wants to make any additional remark, any additional comments on anything that we have covered so far. It would be really, really cool to listen to anybody if you guys feel like sharing anything that you may want to share. I don't know. Is there anything, guys, you'd like to share perhaps? No. Okay, guys. So let's make a little pause here. So as I said, if you guys remember, I mean, we have to always go back to the reasons why we are doing what we do. So we said that during this, and you know what, guys, like one example of what I'm saying here is that as we need to change perspectives, we said something we learned from this exercise is that every time we see a problem, and when we want to tackle a challenge, when we want to face a problem and do something about it, one key thing is to develop this capacity of zooming in and out, or in other words, to change perspectives. That's basically what this exercise has brought to us, the importance of being able to change perspectives and see problems in a different way. So see problems in a different way, not as in just literally seeing problems in a different way, but seeing how those things in which we focus are connected to systems, basically. Every time we see a problem, it doesn't matter the context. It does not matter the context. Every time we see a problem, that problem is connected to other things. So that problem is a symptom of something else every single time. Same thing happens when you are working as a teacher, right? When you have a class and you are teaching something and you have a problem in your classroom, that is a symptom of something else, you see? So for example, just to give you an example, I've insisted several times on how good it would be to turn the cameras every time we work together or every time we want to talk, right? That's something I've said several times, but almost no one is doing it. That is a symptom of something, you see? So if I understand that that is a symptom of something, I will start, you know, working on finding explanations and understanding that problem better instead of just pushing you to do it. You see, if I just focus on the symptom, I would just say, please turn on the cameras. You have to turn on the cameras. Please do that. And I will just focus on that. And for sure, I will not fix anything. You see, I will not solve the problem because I'm just having a look at the symptom itself and not how that symptom is connected to something else. So basically, we could say that that's the most important thing that hopefully we'll learn from this exercise, the importance of being able to change perspectives, but not just to change a perspective, but to see problems in a different way, which allows us to understand how that problem is connected to a system, how that problem is the result, it is the product of more things which are happening around. That's basically it. We have also said, guys, that we are working on a business idea, that the final product is going to be a business idea. But to develop that business idea, we are using a specific methodology, which is design thinking. And we said that we are using design thinking because it's a approach that gives us, or methodology that gives us tools to create real solutions for real problems of real people. That's what we said, right? And to do that, as we are learning a new methodology and as we are using a methodology that perhaps we haven't used before, we need to do it little by little. So also myself, guys, as we progress in the project, I've changed my mind a couple of times regarding how we do it. And that's something that Maria Alejandra said before. And that is that, you know, how important the process itself is. So we shouldn't focus only on the final product, but also on how we do it. So you guys get more familiar with the methodology, you understand every single step better. So I don't want to rush. I don't want to just do it really quick so we have a product. That's not the point. The point here is to understand the methodology. At the end, we're going to have a product, and we want to have very good products. But it is so important it is also very important to understand how the methodology works, because as I said, something we're gonna also do is see how this is related to the teaching practice, how teachers could benefit from doing things this way, from following these steps. That's something we also want to do. Okay, and as we do that, guys, we have worked on several materials as well. So we said that I share with you guys the material of the business plan, and I say just leave it there because we're going to use it later. In this moment, we will not use it. And then we started working a little bit more on this material you've seen in your screens. This is a design thinking canvas. So we could say that this is the map. You see, this is the map for you to create your business plan. We could put it like that. This is the map for that. So it contains all the information that you are going to use for completing your business plan. So to do the business plan, which is one of the final products, we need to have this canvas ready, because this canvas connects everything we are doing. I want to make a little parenthesis here, guys, and it is that hopefully in the future, if you work with projects, if you work in a project for a school, if you work in a project for a university, or if you work in a project for a local education authority, una Secretaría de Educación, or even for the Ministry of Education, when you work on a project, there is a kind of exercise or a kind of format that we always develop. I mean, there are two kinds when talking about project management and project design. One of them is what they normally call in Spanish un marco lógico, or also there is another one they call una teoría de cambio. So a little parenthesis here, guys, in Spanish. Los marcos lógicos o las teorías de cambio son documentos que habitualmente cuando se está desarrollando un proyecto ya a una escala mayor, cualquier tipo de proyecto, o sea que esto obviamente aplica para un proyecto de educación, esos documentos son como el equivalente de nuestro Design Thinking Canvas, pero son mucho más complejos, ¿no? Son documentos que sirven como un soporte, digamos, teórico, metodológico del proyecto que se va a desarrollar y presenta como esa, ¿cómo no? Presenta esa línea de causalidad entre los problemas que se han identificado, las causas de esos problemas, las soluciones, los resultados de esos problemas. Entonces, en pocas palabras, siempre que se desarrolla un proyecto como tal, en nuestro caso, ¿qué es lo que nos interesa? Proyectos educativos, se desarrollan estos marcos lógicos o teorías de cambio. Les dejo esos términos por si ustedes quieren quizás después ver de qué se trata, ver cómo funciona. Y para eso sirven. ¿Listo? Como para mapear los problemas y las soluciones que uno va a diseñar. So that was my parenthesis. So in our case, we are using a design thinking canvas, which is like a way simpler version of that. It's very similar. I mean, the purpose of the format is the same, but of course, in this case, we are talking about a context which is different. We are not talking about a very big project, but we are talking about a small scale projects. So this is pretty much what we are doing here. So the design thinking canvas is going to put it's basically the radiography of our idea, you see, or a map of our idea on how our idea just is born, you see. And once we have this, we can develop the business plan. The business plan will work really quick. It's something we can do in a matter of, I don't know, a couple of hours maximum. But this design thinking canvas requires more time. Why am I again talking about this? Because I'm going to introduce another material. And the point, guys, here is that I would like to take to do this project a little bit slower. So I don't want to rush, and I don't want to work really fast and tell you, do this, do that. I would like you to take your time and navigate materials and progress on the project more slowly. You see, so I want you to do the project in a slower pace. Also, because we are combining this with the lessons and with the topics from the book. So we are not dedicating 100% of the time to the project, but we also need to continue working on the topics of the book and connecting those topics here. So that's why it's better to do it a little bit slower, okay? That is my point. So I will show you guys the materials and where you can get them from. So we start, you know, like getting a little bit more familiar with that. So guys, let me show you that. Let me just stop sharing here, I believe. Wait a minute. Oh, it's right here. So guys, the first material I want to introduce now, but it doesn't look very big. Let me just, so give me a second, guys, as I share the materials again. So we are going to be using two materials more. So I will just show them to you so you see what they are. And then I'll let you know where to get them from. So it's two PDF files. So the first material we are using, guys, is this designer's workbook. We could somehow say that so far, what we've done so far regarding the project has been an introduction to what the project is. But now that we are getting closer to understand the problem that we want to solve, it's time for us to use the designer's workbook. So guys, what is the designer's workbook? If you want me to simplify it, I would say that this is going to be like your notebook, okay? This is going to be your notebook, but a notebook that you use only for that project. Let's leave it like that, okay? We're gonna put it like that. So here you will find some introductions and some ideas and everything. In this case, this is a focused on projects for education, okay? But as your ideas and your projects could be about other topics, don't worry, you can still use this same the same format, I mean the same workbook. So you will find here a number of sections. There are several sections, and we are going to start working on the first section, which is going to be the section 0. Okay, that's something we're going to be working on. So what do you guys find here? In this first section, there are 3 things we're going to do. First of all, to define a challenge. So now that you guys have thought about possible topics, some people that could be involved, right? Some possible impact you might get, and opportunities. So it's like you have been somehow getting closer and closer to the topic, but still we don't know what our challenge is, and we don't have a project plan or whatsoever. So here you will find certain instructions on how to do that. You don't have to do that in this moment. I'm just showing it to you. So we will start by defining a challenge, then we're gonna create a plan, and then by the end of this section, we are going to write a brief, okay? Which is going to be basically like the summary of what our project is about. That's what we're gonna get in the step number 1, okay? So as I said, guys, basically this format gives you all the information you need on every single step that you need to follow for the project. So every single step is right here, okay? So everything we need is right here. So that's what you guys are going to find here. So far, the only thing that I want you to do is to download it, no more. You have to download it and just have a look at it. That would be it. Just download the format, just see what is there, just see how it looks, just see how, you know, everything is organized. That is the only thing you have to do. You don't have to do anything else. And then there is this other form, there is this other material. This is a deck. So it is supposed to be like a deck of cards. So we would print them in cards, and we will, let's say, use them as we progress on this one. So as we progress on this format, as we progress on the project, we are going to be reading all these cards, because these cards are going to help us understand better each one of the steps. They give us ideas on the steps, on the concepts and everything. So this is more about that, about the concepts and about the steps and everything. And also, this is going to be one of the materials that we are going to use for our Friday games later. Okay, so that's why this is also very important. So question now would be, where can we get this? So let me just show you where you can get this from. So if you enter our platform Moodle, you guys gotta go to the week number 5. So please go to week number 5 and download these 2 materials right here in the section Material de Estudio. So it's these 2 PDF files, okay? So far, guys, the only thing we need to do is to download this. To download the materials, have a look at them just to see the structure, what kind of stuff is there. That is it, okay? I don't need you to do anything else. So guys, I'd like to know if you have any question.
Yes, teacher, sorry, which week?
5.
Okay.
5, there we go. So it is as simple as that. Just simply download it, week number 5, section Material de Estudio. That is it. You will download it, just leave it there, and then we'll progress on that. Remember that the project is something we're gonna do on the side, all together with all the lessons and topics we are covering from the book. So it's like we are doing both things at the same time. So that's it. And also, as I said, I would like to slow down a little bit the pace. So I don't want to push you to have certain products by the end of each one of the terms. Let's say what happens, what I'm doing in this very moment is what Google Maps or Waze do when you don't follow instructions completely, or when there is a traffic jam out of nowhere. So it starts recalculating the route. That's what I'm doing. You see, so I'm recalculating our way. So we've got a little bit, you know, like some adjustments regarding the products and the deadlines and everything. because as I said, I would like you to do this slowly and understand exactly how it works and connect it with the rest of the things we are doing in the class. So I don't want to rush you. As you guys said before, the process is very, very, very important. So even if we cover like the different products all around the semester, that is okay, as long as you understand the process and the process makes sense to you, instead of just creating something that you present for a class and that's it. No. Also, because we could say that there are several things which are connected. So yes, we're going to create a business idea, but also we need to boost, we need to maximize our communicative skills in terms of effectiveness. So we want to communicate ideas better and more effectively, but at the same time, we want to see how these steps and this methodology and these concepts are connected to the teaching practice. You see, so it's like so many different things that we want to connect, and that's my proposal. Okay. So guys, we are going to close this part. So I'd like to know if you have questions, comments, doubts, whatever, guys. This is the moment for you to answer, for you to ask me those questions and for me to answer. Please.
No, teacher.
No?
No, teacher.
Okay. Apart from that, guys, to make this work, to make this exercise work, your participation is essential. So make questions every time you've got them. If you have doubts, let me know. Let's try to be as active as possible, because that's essential for this exercise to actually work. Okay, this is so important. So give me 1 second, guys, as I open another file here. I need to check something before we finish. So guys, let me just show you something. Wait a minute. So guys, so if we go back to the book, this is just a recommendation for you guys. This is sort of optional, but actually might be very powerful. So guys, by the end of each one of the units, so we just cover lessons 1.1 all the way to 1.4. So once again, regarding the structure of the book, you'll see that by the end of each one of the units, they've got the lesson 0.5 is always a video-based lesson, but there are no new topics. So this is basically like a review or like an exercise for listening. The problem is that we don't have access to these videos. So that's why I'm not using them here, because we simply don't have access to these videos unless we buy the book. So that's the problem we are having here. But then we also have, as part of that lesson, a general review. You see? So we've got a review that I suggest you guys have. So my suggestion, guys, would be for you, it could be homework, although that's quite optional. But my suggestion, guys, something I would like you to do for tomorrow would be to check all the lessons we worked on, to check all these lessons we have worked on, and focus especially on this. So for instance, we are on the lesson 1.1. So I would like you just to go over the lesson and see, let me see, wait a minute, we're getting there. So here we go. So this is the lesson 1.1. So I would like you to go over it. And once you find the grammar focus or the language focus box, these boxes that have a grammar reference, you see, we've got a box and a grammar reference. I would like you to see if you have questions or problems regarding that specific topic. And if you do, my recommendation would be to check the grammar reference. So go and check the grammar references or the language references. So for instance, in this case, it has got a grammar reference to page 142. In the case of the lesson 1.2, it's 143 and so on. So I would like you to double check all these things, all these references of each one of the lessons we've covered, just say, and if you have any question or if there's anything that you guys don't get very well, just let me know and we'll try to perhaps answer those questions here. So that would be the very first thing, just to have a look at the lessons, to see if there is a topic you don't understand. If there is something you don't understand, go and check the grammar references. And last but not least, this is also optional, but you could have a look at the review section. These review sections are always optional, so I will not necessarily grade them. But if you feel like you need them, it would be really cool. Just in case we need them. Okay, I double checked the videos, the video thing. So because I haven't been, what they told me is that we have no access to that, but I can double check if we have access to the videos as well. So if that's okay with you guys, if you've got the info on the address or anything, you can just share it direct. Thank you very much, Valeria. Yeah, but it would be really cool if you can do it on the WhatsApp group. So as I said, guys, this lesson 1.5, it's actually a review lesson. So in most of the cases, the 0.5 lesson would be a optional, or would be for you guys to practice on your own. Or in some cases, if the topics are really hard, we can check them in class. But normally we would cover from the lesson 0.1 to the 0.4, and then the number 5 is going to be optional because that's a review lesson. As you'll see, the lesson 0.5 doesn't introduce a new topic. You see, it's just a review of what we've done before. So so we're gonna leave it like that as something optional. But Valeria is gonna help us with the link to the videos. So in case you want to watch the videos, you wanna do the exercise just as a review, it would be great. And I actually encourage you to do it. Even if we don't grade that, guys, this is the best way to practice and you know, review the topics we cover. So even, as I said, once again, I want to insist on this, even though the 0.5 lessons are optional, optional doesn't mean meaningless, useless, unnecessary. No, they mean optional, you see? So, so I mean, the test is just around the corner. We know that we have the test by the end of the next week. So you might want to start, you know, reviewing topics and everything. And one of the best ways to do it would be with the lessons 0.5, okay? So guys, I'd like to know if you have any question about this. Is there anything you want to mention? I don't know. I'm all ears, guys.
Teacher, I have a question, but not about the navigate, about the book about designers that we have to read. Are we reading on our own, or
the book that you have to read? No, I mean, you mean the materials that I shared earlier, right? No, so far you don't have to read. I mean, the thing is that the first one, the first book, is the designer's book, is not actually a book. As I said, it's more like a notebook. So it is for you to write things and stuff. And the other one, it's more like it's not a book, but it's like a set of cards. So what I told you guys to do was just to download those materials and just to see the structure. It's like when we've got a book and we just check the pages and see how many pages they has and the sort of information we've got there. So it's just to have a quick view on it. You don't have to read the whole thing. You just have to see, like, let's say, get familiar with the structure and the contents. That's it. Okay.
Okay.
Because that's something we're gonna be progressing on in the classes. So in the we're gonna say, for example, it's just like as it works with the Navigate book. We're gonna go, okay, we're gonna do this exercise. This is how it works. Please do it. We're gonna check it tomorrow. You see? So that's something we're gonna do in the class as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. So, okay, guys. So no questions, right? You're a little bit too shy this morning, guys. That makes me feel a little bit like, oh. So anyway, so guys, we're gonna call the attendance. And as you know, I like to call the attendance really quick. So I love it when I call it and you answer super quick, because it makes me feel like we are in a race or something. But when you take forever, when you take for ages to answer, that makes me feel a little bit, I don't know, anxious. So me da un poco de ansiedad when you guys take too long to answer. So I'd like you to try to do it a little bit faster. So guys, let's do this. I'm gonna call the attendance then. So, Gerson Abril.
Present.
Tatiana Álvarez. Laura Arias.
I'm here, teacher.
Laura Bermúdez.
I'm here, teacher.
Ana María Buendía.
Here, teacher.
Andrés Felipe Bueno.
Here.
Camila Ulla.
Here, teacher.
Erika Corredor.
Here, teacher.
Alexander Cortés. Tatiana Espitia.
Here, teacher.
Valeria Fonegra.
Here, teacher.
Miguel Ángel Forero.
I'm here.
John González.
Present, teacher.
Melissa Goyes. Ashley Huesa.
Here, teacher.
Diego Llano.
Here, teacher.
Daniel Machuca.
Hello, teacher. How are you?
Hello, Mr. Johannes Martinez.
Here.
Angie Martinez.
Here, teacher.
Nicolás Medina.
Here, teacher.
Clara Monroy.
Present, teacher.
Alexander Mutis.
Present, teacher.
Camila Navarro.
Morning.
Hello, Magdalena Ojeda.
Me, teacher, present.
Dylan Páez.
Present, teacher.
Diana Palacios.
Here, teacher.
Lina Rodríguez.
Present, teacher.
Angie Rodríguez.
Present, teacher.
David Torres.
Present, teacher.
María Alejandra Triana.
Here, teacher.
Angie Valero.
Present, teacher.
Diana Baloyes.
Good morning.
Hello, Lorena Vega. Okay, guys. So just as a final remark, I'm gonna switch back to Spanish again, just to finish. Ustedes recordarán, chicos, que cuando nosotros empezamos dijimos, una cosa de la que ha sido un poco redundante es sobre la importancia que tiene que siempre, así como nosotros nos preocupamos por nuestra salud física, también nos preocupemos mucho por nuestra salud emocional y mental. Es muy importante. Si a nosotros nos duele mucho una muela, pues normalmente vamos al odontólogo, ¿no? Si nos duele mucho la cabeza, nos tomamos una pastilla, ¿sabes? Como Dolex o esas cosas. Hacemos algo, ¿cierto? Pero a veces cuando tenemos algún nivel de dificultad en términos de nuestra salud emocional o mental, nuestra reacción de pronto no es la misma. Tendemos a no darle tanta importancia o simplemente a padecerlo y ya. Entonces, por eso, ustedes recordarán que al principio del semestre yo les propuse un ejercicio muy diferente, como algo ya muy personal. Y era que cada vez que ustedes empezaran algo, o sea, pues nuestra clase, pero aparte de la clase, cada vez que fueran a iniciar cualquier cosa, otra clase o cualquier otra actividad, ustedes se preguntarán qué tan presentes se sienten en ese momento y qué podrían hacer para mejorarlo un poco, ¿cierto? Eso era un ejemplo de algo a tener en cuenta y tratar de siempre estar lo más presentes posibles en cada cosa que hacemos, precisamente para maximizar el impacto positivo o el significado de eso que hacemos día a día. Y el ejercicio que hicimos este fin de semana y las reflexiones que teníamos, que digamos, emergieron de este ejercicio, también están conectadas con esto. Y es esta capacidad de hacer ese zoom in y zoom out de los problemas, ¿cierto? Y de las situaciones en general. Entonces, volviendo sobre este tema como de salud mental, emocional, etcétera, es importante que nosotros hagamos ese intento. Si de pronto decimos, no tenemos tanta motivación para una clase, o nos sentimos muy cansados, o no nos gusta trabajar en grupo, o no nos gusta salir, por ejemplo, lo que ustedes dijeron, que lo comparto un resto muchas veces. O sea, yo entiendo muy bien el punto ahí. Todas esas cosas son síntomas de otra vaina. ¿Sí? Entonces, si por ejemplo, no me siento tan bien prendiendo mi cámara, no me siento tan bien hablando en público. Listo, eso es un problema, pero eso es un síntoma de otra cosa. Entonces la idea es, o sea, estamos como zooming in en eso, por ejemplo, zooming in en el hecho de que no quiero hablar, no quiero trabajar con otros, etcétera. Tratemos de hacer ese zoom out precisamente para empezar a entender un poco mejor cómo está eso conectado con otras cosas. Nosotros los millennials, las personas que estamos ya en el pleno disfrute / padecimiento de nuestra crisis de la mediana edad, y se los juro, ustedes hablan con cualquier treintañero y les puede llegar a decir lo mismo. Y es como hemos venido descubriendo que muchos de nuestros problemas emocionales tienen su origen en la infancia, pero casi todos, se los juro. Entonces, un poco ese es el ejercicio, entender cómo esos síntomas, esas cositas que sentimos que no nos gustan, tienen origen en otra cosa. Si usted se siente tímido, si usted no le dan ganas de hablar, si usted no quiere salir, eso es solamente un síntoma. Y tiene origen en otra cosa. Cuando usted le duele la cabeza, puede que le duele la cabeza porque no usa gafas, o por un alimento, o porque no está durmiendo bien, o porque el brillo de su pantalla es muy alto. O sea, el origen de ese síntoma es muy diverso, pero hay que entenderlo para poder hacer algo al respecto. Entonces, esa era un poco mi invitación. Cómo este ejercicio nos puede ayudar de pronto a darnos una idea sobre algo más que podemos hacer. Okay, guys, so that's all for today. There are a couple of people. I think there are a couple of people who want to talk to me about anything. So I'll wait for those people. And the rest of you guys, thank you very much for your time. I think we can improve a little bit more our participation and you know, energy towards the exercise. But I like it. I enjoyed it. I really like listening to you and all these ideas that you brought. And I'm very, let's say, positive about this project because I believe that we're going to learn a lot. So I'm really curious about what's going to be next. Yes, Felipe, do you want to say something?
Yes, teacher. Teacher, I have a question related to the exam. The exam is gonna be like we are going to follow like a format like the IELTS or whatever, or you are going to create.
Yes, we need to follow the an international exam format because that's actually something that is required from the program. So yes, it's going to be an IELTS format, by the way, but it's not going to be exactly like an IELTS, but the format, the structure is going to be similar. But as you know, by the end of it, we've got the writing section. So in that writing section, I'm going to pay particular attention to all this topic of the language conventions and everything. So yeah, that would be my answer to it.
Okay, thank you, teacher.
Thank you, Felipe. So guys, thank you very much for your time and I'll see you tomorrow. I'll wait for those of you who want to say something like questions or whatever. I'll wait here, but the rest of you guys, you're good to go.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you guys.
Thank you,
Have a good
teacher.
one.
Bye.
Teacher, bye.
Bye, teacher. Thank
Bye.
you.